Hi there. Hi there. Let's get into the content today. The National Science Foundation reports that 80% of our thoughts are negative, and that's a lot. We already have enough outside negativity messages about how we're not good enough, we are not in ourselves and of ourselves enough, and we'll never be enough. We don't need to talk to ourselves in that same way. We do not need that negative self talk coming from within and from without. um, we get caught up in it though. It's like a really bad habit, a toxic habit that has real consequences. It has real ramifications. You know, if you talk yourself negatively, it's going to increase feelings of anxiety. It's going to increase feelings of depression, low mood, sadness, which really takes a toll on your self-esteem and your confidence. Like there are actual consequences. So if you have found this video, you are meant to be here. You are meant to be here. And I'm believing there's something that I'm going to say that's going to encourage you, that's going to help you get back on the right path toward speaking to yourself more positively and not being such a meanie. Stop being such a jerk to yourself, because that's not okay. That's not okay. And if you come to this video, then it might be time for you to make a change. I think it's a good sign and we can use it as such. Um, yeah. Welcome to Work on Yourself Wednesdays. This is a live chat and journal with me. I'm Alex. I'm a licensed psychotherapist and life coach. I make videos about personal growth and productivity for exceptional women who want to lead exceptional lives. I'm here every week, and I would be totally honored if you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and help us to grow. I have my emotional support water and my notes because we're at the age where notes are needed, and I will be referencing these notes as I already have, because I don't want to miss the things that I intend to say to you. Let me turn off this banner because we have gotten started. Okay, we're going to talk about 3 reasons that people talk themselves crazy and what you could do about it. So you may recognize yourself in one of these 3 descriptions, and I'm going to give some steps that you can take if you fall into one of these categories. So the first one is, I know a lot of people speak harshly to themselves because they think that it motivates them to do better, to be better, to try harder, to push further. You see this a lot with big overachievers like athletes or performers, right? Well, I don't buy into that at all. I believe that what really motivates us to all that achievement is grit and determination and resolve. And all of those traits exist within you already, apart from self-criticism, right? You were probably taught to join those together, but just like you were taught to join them, you can be taught to unjoin them. You can teach yourself to tap into that determination and resolve apart from self-criticism. So here's the next step for you. You need to get really good at encouraging yourself and hyping yourself up. There is an intensity and energy to self-criticism and insulting yourself and being mean to yourself. I want you to redirect, keep that same energy, okay? I want you to redirect it towards encouraging yourself and hyping yourself up like it's your job. It works. Try it, okay? Try it and come tell me about it, because I do want to hear. You need to be your own cheerleader. It's going to make a difference for you. Okay, moving right along. The second set of people, you might be a part of the second group, and these people are incredibly mean to themselves because they think that for whatever reason, they really deserve it. They feel like they have done something that is deserving of cruelty, or there is something about them that makes them deserving of negative self-talk or general negativity, right? I understand that. We all make mistakes. We have all done things that we are ashamed of. And I know that sometimes we can get stuck there. So you may be in the group of people who just got stuck. I want you to know that you are deserving of respect and decency and kindness from yourself, first of all, from yourself, most of all. Okay. It starts with you. This can start with you. No matter what you've done, you can grant yourself respect and decency and kindness. And if you can't speak to yourself with kindness, then let's shoot for gentleness. Okay. You are likely deprived of positive affirmation if this is how you're living. So you're going to have to begin to pour that back into yourself consistently. Positive affirmation. Okay, so we're going to do a journaling prompt in a moment where I'm going to ask you to write down like what are the most common negative things you say to yourself. And part of your work is going to be to come up with some positive affirmations to combat or push back against that. So you're not just going along with it every time it pops up. Last night, I did group coaching for the women that are in the Flourish community, and we talked about mindfulness. And a big part of mindfulness is learning the skills to be aware of what you are thinking. Okay. It raises your level of awareness about what you're thinking. And a lot of people who struggle with negative self talk, it's just such a habit, they don't even think about it. Which brings me to group number 3. Some of us talk really mean to ourselves because it's a habit. It's just like a default way of being. We don't even realize that we're doing it because it's not at our level of awareness. And this is just always how we've spoken to ourselves, right? Cuss ourselves out a little bit or just talking crazy. You need to course correct. You need to course correct. The habit is deeply ingrained, but you may not have some of the rootedness that the other 2 groups of people have, right? And so you need to recognize that negative self-talk is self-sabotage for you, and you can't afford it. You cannot afford to continue in negative self-talk. It's time to build some new and improved habits and stop being so mean to yourself. That's what I have to say about negative self-talk. Leave questions, comments, feedback in the comments, and I will respond to you. I respond to every single comment, so get into it. Let's get to the prompts. I'm going to pull them up on my end. I always provide 3 prompts every week for Work on Yourself Wednesdays. And if you can't write about it, think deeply about it. Let's engage in some self-reflection. Remember, without self-reflection, there can be no growth, and we are all about personal growth over here. Okay, here's your first prompt. What makes positive self-talk difficult for you? Is it one of the reasons that I've mentioned before? Is it the way that self-talk was modeled for you? Or obviously you would have had to hear it growing up. Did your parents or primary caregivers speak to you negatively or speak about themselves negatively? Do you come from a family culture where criticism and self-criticism is kind of just what y'all do? Why is positive self-talk so difficult? Why isn't that your default? Okay. I want to give you the homework after this video to spend a few minutes really thinking about what comes up for you, paying attention around what comes up for you when you think about this question. Let's go into prompt number 2. What are your most common negative self-talk phrases? So for some people, it's I'm not good enough. I can't do this. I look horrible. I'll never be able to blah, blah, blah. Or this is never going to happen for me. Or this only happens for other people and not myself. I want you to identify probably your top 3 or 5 most common negative self-talk phrases, because these thoughts, these negative self-talk phrases tend to be very repetitive. And we experience them over and over and over and over again. I want you to identify them. Okay. Once you've been able to identify them, you can create positive affirmations to address them. The negative thought is going to come automatically. You don't have to work for it. The positive thought you're going to have to work for, which means you need to be aware when a negative thought occurs. And you need to work by also thinking the positive thought. Okay. Let's go into our final prompt, number 3. What is one small commitment that you can make today about how you will responsibly use your self-talk from here on out? How will you steward your self-talk from here on out? It can be like a good place to start is to practice gratitude, because a lot of people that have very negative self-talk are often complaining, just big on complaining all the time, big on complaining. I have recommitted myself to the practice of gratitude because it enriches my life so much. If you want to join me, you can also recommit to practicing gratitude more in your life. That's a small commitment that you can make that'll make a big difference, but perhaps there's a different commitment that you want to make. Excelente. Those are your 3 prompts for today. Thank you for joining me for another week of Work on Yourself Wednesdays. Be sure to like this video and subscribe. I'm going to be back next Wednesday because that's what I do. If you want to learn more about me, you can sign up for my newsletter at selfworkschool.com, and I will see you next time.